Welcome back to the Culture of Currency. You're going to absolutely love what I have for you today. You see here we've got some gold, of course, and we've got our silver out. And the reason is because one of the largest states in the nation, the state of Texas, is going to be getting a bill up to get voted on that has to do with gold and silver being enacted as species or coins or currency of some standard to be used in the second largest state in the entire nation. We know goldbacks just circulated in Florida as a product that they have out there. This was a problem for Texas when goldbacks hit the market because of scale. They did not think they could scale to a size that Texas would demand. And even if it's not goldbacks, this bill would be able to create many things that go way beyond the goldback, such as the Texas Depository of gold and silver bullion that has already been passed. So I'm going to actually read the bill for you. It's only a handful of pages, and then you can then synthesize what you think it means. I'm not here to tell you what it means. You're smart people. I'm just going to read it to you and try not to mess that up. And then let me know in the comments what you think this is about, what you think this will do if it passes, and is it a net good or net bad? So that being said, here we have our House bill. As you can see, Durazio is the, author of the bill. It's House Bill number 1049. A bill to be entitled an act, I don't think they've come up with that yet, relating to the issuance of gold and silver specie. A specie is basically a coin, at least it has historically been considered such. I'm sure it can be many things. And the establishment of a currency based on gold and silver. Yes, this means Texas could have a currency, and it could even look like a dollar bill that is backed by gold and silver like it used to be pre-Kennedy. Authorizing a fee. So they're going to talk about that here in the bill as well. To be enacted by the legislature of the state of Texas. Section 1, Subtitle A, Title 4, Government Code is amended by adding Chapter 404A to read as follows. Chapter 404A, Gold and Silver Currency. Subchapter A, General Provisions. Section 404A.001. Let's just skip all this. You don't need to know that. Okay, this is a definition. Bullion and specie have meanings as assigned by Section 216.001. You know what that is. Gold and silver currency means the representation of gold, specie, and bullion held in the pooled depository account as established under this category. Pooled depository account means the account established in the Texas Bullion Depository, which has already been passed, by the way. It's out by Georgetown, under Section so on and so forth. You have the rules here, boring. This is rules necessary to, 1, ensure that the security of gold or silver specie or bullion, gold and silver currency transactions and related data, and to prevent fraud and prohibit transactions involving foreign countries or entities known to engage in illegal or terroristic activities. Subchapters, this is establishment and administration of gold and silver specie and currency. Here's the establishment. As authorized by Section 10, Article 1, United States Constitution, to the extent the comptroller determines practicable, the comptroller shall establish and provide for the full issuance of gold and silver specie and establish and issue a currency based on gold and silver that represents a particular fraction of a troy ounce of gold or silver as applicable, held in trust as provided by this chapter. The comptroller may contract with a private vendor to establish the gold and silver currency under subsection A2 or perform other duties under this chapter. To the extent consistent with the state and federal law in contracting with private vendors under this subsection of the comptroller shall give preference to a vendor whose principal place of business is in this state. The contract may provide for the vendor to pay the initial costs associated with establishing the currency and be reimbursed from fees collected under this subchapter. In establishing gold and silver specie under the subsections, the comptroller shall authorize the Texas Bullion Depository as this state's exclusive issuer and ensure that the holder of this specie may A, use the specie as legal tender in payment of debt, and B, rapidly transfer the specie to another person. In establishing the gold and silver currency under subsection A2, the comptroller shall provide a means to ensure that a person who holds the currency may use the currency as legal tender in payment of debt and, by electronic means, readily transfer or assign the currency to another person. The next section here, bullion depository accounts. The comptroller serving as trustee or another person the comptroller appoints to serve as trustee shall hold in trust on behalf of gold and silver currency holders all gold and silver specie and bullion owned or purchased for the purpose of issuing the currency. The trustee shall maintain enough gold and silver specie or bullion to provide for the redemption of all units of the currency issued but not redeemed. That's very interesting. The trustee shall establish a pooled depository account in the Texas Bullion Depository to hold in trust as the trustee on behalf of gold and silver currency holders all gold and silver specie and bullions owned and allocated or purchased for purposes of issuing the currency. Issuance of gold and silver is our next section. The comptroller may issue to a person the appropriate number of units and fractional units of gold and silver currency when the person, together with any fee charged under section 404A.0058. Moving to page 5. That makes the appropriate payment to the comptroller for the comptroller to purchase the gold or silver specie bullion for the pooled depository account to be represented by the currency, or designates gold or silver specie or bullion to be held in the depository account with the Texas Bullion Depository to be transferred to the pooled depository account for the purpose of being represented by the currency. Oh, very interesting. On receiving payment under subsection A1, the comptroller shall, using the money received, purchase gold or silver specie or bullion in the number of fractional troy ounces equal to the number of units or fractional units of gold and silver currency to be issued to the person under the subsection. Deposit for the person the gold or silver specie or bullion purchase under subdivision 1 into the pooled depository account, and Number 3, issue to the person a gold or silver silver currency account with a Texas Bullion Depository, or, if applicable, add to an existing gold and silver currency account held by the person with the depository the number of units or fractional units of gold and silver currency equal the amount of specie or bullion that the money received from the person would buy on the date of the payment is received. That all makes sense. C. On receiving the person's designation under subsection, the comptroller shall withdraw from the person's depository account with the Texas Bullion Depository the amount of gold or silver specie or bullion designated and deposit the specie or bullion for the person to be pulled in the depository account. And 2. Issue the person a gold or silver currency account with the Texas Bullion Depository, or, if applicable, to add to an existing gold or silver currency account held by the person with the depository the number of units or fractional units of gold and silver currency equal to the amount of gold or silver specie or bullion that pooled depository account received from the person on that date. Redemption of gold and silver currency for United States dollar is next. This is the interesting one for many of us. A person who holds gold and silver currency may present to the comptroller any number of units or fractional units of the currency to redeem for United States dollars. On receipt of a person's request for redemption, the comptroller shall sell from the gold or silver specie or bullion held in the pooled depository account a number of fractional troy ounces equal to the number of units or fractional units of gold and silver currency being redeemed, and provide to the person an amount of the United States dollar equal to the amount received from the sale of gold and silver specie or bullion under subdivision 1, less the amount of any fee charged under the section 404A.0058. So they will be charging you transactional fees. Don't know what those will be, but hopefully it makes it worth it. All right, right now at 0055, redemption of gold and silver currency for specie or bullion. A person who holds gold and silver currency may present to the comptroller any number of units or fractional units of the currency redeemed for equal fractional numbers of troy ounces of gold or silver specie bullion from the pooled depository account. On receipt of request for redemption, the comptroller shall withdraw the equivalent fractional number of troy ounces of gold and silver specie or bullion from the pooled depository account, and on the payment of a fee charged under section .0058, deliver the gold or silver specie or bullion to the requester as requested. Here's 5.6 right here. The value of gold and silver currency. Are they going to follow spot? Let's find out. At the time of each transaction involving the issuance of redemption of gold and silver currency, the comptroller shall determine the value of a unit of the currency. The value of a unit of gold and silver currency at the time of a transaction must be equal to the value of the appropriate fraction of a troy ounce of gold or silver, respectively, at the time of the transaction as published by the Texas Bullion Depository. Here's 0.57 here. Certain money and deposits held in trust and not subject to legislative appropriation. Wow. So things held here can't be appropriated for other things. Money received under section .0053, gold or silver specie bullion purchased or deposited in the pooled depository account as provided by section 5.3 or C, and money received from the sale of gold or silver specie or bullion in the pooled depository account in response to a request for redemption 5.4 is held by the comptroller as trustee outside the state treasury on behalf of the person who holds gold and silver currency and not available for legislative appropriation. Ding, ding, ding. That's awesome. All right, and last, we have 0.58, which is your fee. The comptroller may establish a fee. I like that they said the word may. They may establish a fee for the issuance or redemption of gold and silver currency to cover the comptroller's cost in administering this chapter and an industry standard merchant fee for use. The comptroller shall deposit the net fee proceeds after cost to the credit of the General Revenue Fund. If this goes into effect and is voted and passed, which is Section 2, this act would effectively take place on September 1st, 2025. How crazy is that? So yes, gold and silver, if this passes, would be issued by the state of Texas through maybe private entities like these goldbacks here, or maybe the state of Texas says, you know what, we'll buy the machines, we will create our own version of goldbacks or some type of fractionals that are backed by the state of Texas, and we'll do the same for silver. My guess for silver, you might have bullion coins that are 1 ouncers. You might even have bigger denominations. I don't know, but it's very interesting. That is my reflection on this. I don't know where the fees will be. My guess is they will be similar to fees that you have at coin shops, things like that for transactional needs. But it is also very, very rewarding to hear that these things within the Texas Depository, which already exist outside of Austin, would not be able to be used for appropriation elsewhere. So it does kind of allow that to be sheltered and held from basically being used by our government for other needs. So that is the bill. I've read it as written as effectively as I can for being 5 in the morning, but that is that. I want to know what you think about this. Is this going to be a net good for Texas? Is this going to be a sign of movement for the United States as this new administration seems to be wanting to strengthen the dollar? I don't know. It's very, very interesting, and me being in Texas, I will be able to report firsthand on the movements of this bill. Hopefully it does pass because I think it would be awesome. But if it doesn't, we'll try to understand why. We'll also figure out if this bill, once it hits the floor, will be negotiated and or amended in any type of way. Hopefully it's as written, because as written it sounds pretty solid to me. But I'm also not an expert on this stuff. I just read things as they are. So if you are more of an expert in this stuff and want to synthesize it, please do. I would love to hear and know your thoughts. But that is what we have today. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, please remember to stay classy and current with the culture of currency.